Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Healing Cave. My name is Nicole, and today we are receiving some channeled messages and insights from Source about how we should move forward in the coming week. If you are new here, this is one of the offerings that we have here at the Healing Cave. We also have Eagles View podcast, which there we break down everyday challenges from a higher perspective, since we are all on our journey of self discovery, personal development, inner healing, and growth. So I encourage you to check that out. Those are posted Tuesdays and Fridays. Any info that you will need will be found in the description box below. Uh, that's it. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in. The way that we are going to do this reading, we will do the general messages first, go in and clarify, and then we will get some messages regarding business, finance, and then we will finish with love, since those are the two areas that most people have questions around. All right. I will say, I've been feeling the energy of snake energy, which is transformational energy. Of course, this is a snake year in the Chinese zodiac. Is that right? This is the year of the snake. So a lot of shedding, a lot of wisdom seeking, people seeking to expand, shedding of the skin, which means shedding of old ways, old habits, old beliefs, old behaviors, things that no longer align with you. Now's the time to release it and let it go. We're in the ninth year. We're in a 9 year. So this is the end of a cycle, wrapping up the end of a cycle. What have you learned in these 9 years? What can you take with you moving forward as we begin new, right? Begin a new cycle. What can you take with you moving forward, and what do you need to just be done with, right? Also, I trust, thank you, that whenever you come across this video, it's going to be the perfect time for you. I trust in divine timing. So when you are led to this video, it is because there is something here for you. Could be in the very beginning, it could be in the general messages, could be in the business, could be in the love. There's something here for you. Okay. Also, I'm getting this energy. Okay, so it needs to be said, if you are not familiar with connecting with Source in this way, perhaps you are uber religious. There's no judgment here, but there is, you're being encouraged to always remain a student of life, always remain curious, always seek to learn. That's the only way you're going to know what resonates with you and what doesn't. You cannot just go off of what somebody else tells you is right or wrong for you. You must experiment and go through and figure out, does this align with my soul? Does it not? Okay, and that's valid for me. I'll just tell you, it took me over 30 years to appreciate this part of my gifts, right? It took me a long time to acknowledge and appreciate my inner wisdom and the gifts that I have, the clairs and so forth. Just make sure before you decide to write off something, anything in life, in this life journey, make sure it's because your soul says it's not aligned with you, for no other reason than that. All right, first card out, exercise patience. Rushing. What? Rushing the process limits learning. How can you appreciate each phase? There you go. Rushing the process, that should be rushing the process limits learning. How can you appreciate each phase? All right, so somebody, like, listen, don't be in such a hurry to get to the finish line. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey in all things. It's about what you learn along the way that matters the most. Have you noticed how people have goals, and when they reach that goal, it's like, now what? When they reach the goal, it's like, okay, now what? Or something that, you know, they wanted so badly, and then when they get it, it's like, yeah, I'm really not impressed. Have you ever felt that way? I thought something flipped. Oh, it did. Have you ever felt that way? Number 11, I am creator. Very beautiful energy. Have you ever felt that way, friends? You want something so bad. Oh my God, you work so diligently toward it, right? And then when you get it, it's like, oh, that's what this is? Oh, that's what this is about? Oh, okay. This isn't quite what I thought it was. But okay, I'll take it. I'll deal with it. Right? Enjoy the journey. Appreciate each phase. Realize that you are constantly creating. You are constantly creating. Number 11 here. And that's a master number. You might be in 11 life path that's for. You are constantly creating with your thoughts, with your whatever you give your energy, your attention and your focus to. You are creating. So be intentional at each step, right? Let's see what else here. Take your time. Don't be in competition with other people. Make sure you are doing what feels good to you, what feels good to your soul. There are so many people, you guys would be surprised, even in the sort of economy that people are experiencing, where there is significant lack. There are those among us who are making tremendous amounts of money compared to others, and it's relatively easy. You know, the work that they do is relatively easy for them. However, they're miserable because they don't enjoy the work. They're miserable because they don't feel any sort of connection to it. You know, they don't feel like they're making a difference. They don't feel like what they're doing is truly fulfilling them, right? Make sure whatever you're giving your energy, your attention, your focus to, whatever your goals are, make sure they fulfill your soul. Not trying to fit into a societal standard, not trying to get money just to be able to flex and say you got money. There are a lot of miserable millionaires. There are a lot of lonely, wealthy people who have money and nothing else. Okay? We got Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved here. And then we also got Guardian Angel, you are not alone. This gives the energy of you are protected. It's okay to take a leap of faith. It's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to try something that, you know, people may say you're crazy for doing. It's okay. As long as you are following your inner guidance, you're good. You have the help of the entire universe. Okay? The entire universe is conspiring to align you with what is for your greatest and highest good, and what you desire. You know, you can't put yourself in a prison or in a box trying to fit into the expectations, trying to fulfill the expectations of society or your relatives or your love interest or whatever. You have to do what satisfies your soul. And it's safe for you to open up to the help and the support that source sends you. As long as you are trusting your intuition, that is a huge thing for this time. Really nurturing the connection with the highest parts of you, right? Your gut, those gut instincts. You know, the gut is referred to as the second brain. It knows before your actual physical brain even knows. So being so fine-tuned with yourself that any inkling that your body gives you, all of the signals you pick up on, all of the omens that's presented to you, all of the messages that source sends you through other people, through, if you're a scroller, you see something and it's just like, aha, your attention is just grabbed there and there's a message there for you. You are so acutely aware and connected with your highest self. You cannot fail. You cannot fail. So just be open and trust that. Okay? Let's keep on going. There are some jewels in the process of you getting to your ultimate goal that is so beneficial for your journey. There are jewels in the process. Thanks. All right, we got 2 here. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. And nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. All right, so these feel like 2 separate messages, right? So someone is waiting for the guidance to move forward here. The answers you need are on the way. The clarity that you need is on the way, but you have to be paying attention. And you have to not be polluted with so much junk that source can put a flashing neon sign right here and boom, you'd miss it because you're looking over here at something that doesn't even matter, right? And then for somebody else, you can keep spinning your wheels and spinning your wheels and spinning your wheels. You can keep putting energy into it. You can keep putting efforts into it. You're just going to wear your little self out. It's not intended to bear the fruit that you're looking for. It's not intended to bear the fruit that you're looking for. So it's time for you to reconcile with yourself and be like, okay, what's the next move? What do I need to be doing instead? Where should I be focused instead? Because clearly this is not it, So, okay, I'm making peace with that. Just let me know what to do, though. Let me know where to go from here. Right? I actually, let's see. Let me find the book for these. Is this it? Yep. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Oh, it's back here. Here we go. Wait a minute. Full moon in Gemini. All right. I'm going to just read these two for you. Gemini is the twins. Okay. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is the planet of communication. All right. Okay. It says this card is a reminder that it's important to speak your truth. But remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now, you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issue you're facing could well be one or a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're inquiring about a love situation, a little flirting may be called for. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the old, very non-Gemini message. Least said, soonest mended. It's good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. Words have enormous power. Words have enormous power, as metaphysician Florence Shen put it. Your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time you express yourself. Let's see if we can find this void of course moon real quick here. Yeah, it's like you're beating a dead horse here. You can keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. You can talk it out, talk it out, talk it out. It's not going to change. Okay, this void of course. Nothing will come from this situation. In a form of astrology known as horary, Horary, where an astrological chart is cast according to when the question is asked and decoded, a void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or this situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news depending on what you're asking. For example, if you're worried about something, whatever it is, this card can be taken as a sign that there's nothing to worry about. However, if you're asking about a new project of any kind, including a new relationship, it's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things so you get a different outcome. Remember, the cards can only predict what you're currently creating, and you can change that with both your behavior and beliefs. Again, with a reference to the I am creator, right? Nice. Let's get one more here before we go in and get some clarity. Thank you. All right. We got unfinished symphony. Okay. This is the energy of something coming back around. This is the energy of being presented again with something that you've already experienced. Perhaps this is someone who hasn't quite learned the lesson. Right? And so you keep repeating the same sorts of experiences with different players. For instance, you go to a new job and you find at the new job, you got the same problems that you had at the old job. At the old job, you said that people were always talking about you and the manager didn't want to work with you and ... You get to the new job and you find people are talking about you. Again, it seems like the manager doesn't want to work with you. Let's say you are getting into a new relationship, right? The last relationship you were in, you guys argued all the time. You went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you never seemed to really resolve anything. You just kept having variations of the same argument. So eventually you break up, you get with a new person, and you find that you too are always arguing. And it seems like you're having the same argument over and over and over. Can I tell you, friend? Everywhere you go, you are. Everywhere you go, you are. This is an opportunity, right, for you to demonstrate to Source that you've learned the lesson so that you don't have to repeat it again. So I guess you have to ask yourself, have you learned the lesson? Have you learned the lesson? Because this time you sort of get to flex what you know, what you've learned. This time, if, it were a relationship where the communication ultimately was poor and you've actually done the work to figure out where you were falling off in the communication aspect of the relationship. Now in your new relationship, when the seemingly same troubles start to appear, then you get to say, oh, wait a minute, this looks familiar. This looks familiar. I remember the last time this happened. This is what I learned from it. So let me exercise what I learned this time, right? It's not about taking what you've experienced before and pulling that into the now. It's about taking what you've learned from the experience so that you don't have to repeat the same thing that you did before, using it for your good, using it for your betterment. Okay, let's see what wants to come out in the clarified messages here. You are the creator, friend. So your mindset matters, your beliefs matter, where you put your attention and your focus matters. You are creating constantly. You are creating constantly. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now, we got the Knight of Pentacles coming out here. Slow moving energy, earth energy, taking your time about something, right? Just like this said, enjoy the journey, enjoy the journey. This is taking your time. Then you got the Knight of Cups, right? You've also learned to mind your emotions. You've learned to be intentional about what you pour your energy into. You're learning to fill your own cup up here. And it's been a journey. This Five of Wands, it's been a journey to get here. There's been a lot of conflict, a lot of, wrestling with yourself on this. You may have even lost some friends along the journey here. You may have had to disconnect yourself from some relatives along the way here. You've had to leave some jobs behind. You've had to give up some stuff, right? Both of the Knight energies are like in the learning phase, like you would be, I guess, young adults, right? This is like young adult energy. This is, you're not quite the teenager that you were. You're certainly not the little kid that you were. You have matured a little bit, right? You haven't quite perfected it, right? You haven't quite gotten to the adult phase, the queen or the king phase, but you have certainly grown, which it makes absolute sense for this unfinished business to be coming out, because things that you were faced with when you were younger, you handled a totally different way. But now, baby, you'll walk away from it. I'm not finna be fussing and fighting and arguing. I'm not getting ready to do all that. I'm good. I'm working on filling my cup up. I'm working on getting to my goals, attuning my focus to what feels good for my soul and working toward that. I'm working on creating the sort of experience that I enjoy, a life that I enjoy. That's what I'm working on. I don't have time for pettiness. I'm working toward the 10 of Pentacles, toward generational wealth, toward a connection, whether it's romantic, whether it's business, whether it's family. Now, family and relatives, I don't use those synonymously. Family are the people that you choose to be around, you choose to be connected with. Relatives, I mean, y'all share DNA, y'all share blood type, maybe. Okay. But you're working toward reciprocal connections. You're working toward loyalty. You're working toward longevity. This is what you're working toward. So you may or may not be at this phase where you're okay with walking away with what you realize is not serving your wellness, what you realize is not serving a purpose. Like maybe you're in the phase where it's starting to present itself, where your intuition is kicking in and you're starting to be like, I don't know, this don't feel right. Whereas before, where you would not even notice your intuition, now you actually notice it. And now you're like, okay, well, how should we move? And you're moving toward being able to walk away confidently, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that it's okay. Source is always going to provide me with exactly who and what I need for the journey. So it's cool, right? Good for you. Good for us, collective. Good for maturing. Good for maturing. We're going to get one more pass through on these. And then that's going to wrap up the general messages. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Who am I thanking? I'm thanking Source. Thank you. I'm thanking Spirit. I'm thanking infinite intelligence, the divine universe from which all becomes. So if you're curious, that's what it is. 9 of Cups. See, this is like wish fulfillment. This is like having your desires showing up for you. You've put in work and you've dared to dream, if you will. You've dared to trust. And now this is seeing fruits of that. Page of Pentacles. Somebody's getting some good news about something. The Magician here, which is also, it's just like this energy. I am creator. The Magician. The Magician has everything that they need within them. You have the swords, which would be your wits, which would be your intelligence, right? Even if it don't matter if you didn't graduate, there are people who didn't go to college, but they are so life smart. Some people would call it street smart. They are life smart, that they know how to get the job done. They know how to do what is needed, and they don't have a degree that tells them that validates that for them, and yet they're still able to do it. You got the pentacle here. There is everything available for you physically, right? Everything that you need is available for you always. It's like doors are always opening for you. People are always showing up and offering their time, offering their talents, offering their connections, connecting you with just who you need to be connected with in order to achieve something, right? So you are balanced. You have your trust in God. You have your trust in the universe, and thus you always have exactly what you need. And then the cups, you are emotionally fulfilled, right? You are able to tap into those that realm of yourself where you allow yourself to feel deeply. You allow yourself to feel deeply, a deep connection. You don't just do things haphazardly. You don't just do things because that's what's popular. You do what matters to you, right? And then you have the wands. This is spirit. This is passion. You are passionate about what it is that you are manifesting. You have everything that you need to create what you desire, to create the experience you desire. If somebody is starting new, you're manifesting some new stuff. Okay? This is like wrapping up with that snake energy. I was feeling wrapping up a cycle, shedding that skin because you've outgrown it. Snakes shed their skin because they've outgrown it. They've outgrown it. You've outgrown it. You can't remain confined to what you have always been. It's time for you to grow to the next level. And with this new level, somebody is getting much better at manifesting whatever they want. Whatever you want. It's like you think about it and it shows up. You talk about it. You journal about it. You pray about it. You fast for it. And it shows up. It shows up. It keeps showing up. Everything keeps showing up. Right? So this is about really being in cahoots. Being in cahoots with the greater energy of us all. I feel like we are extensions of source energy. Okay? We are extensions of greater consciousness. We are extensions of God experiencing itself. It's genderless. I know that in a lot of religious practices, God is often referred to as man, as a masculine energy, he, right? But that energy is genderless. It's balanced energy. It's masculine and feminine. So, you know, but we are extensions of that, which means the same power that God has to speak something and boom, right? As it's depicted in the Bible, God spoke it and boom, there it was. We are creating constantly with our words. And what you need to know is when you find that you are, let's say you feel like you never have enough money. Every single time you reaffirm that to yourself, oh, I never have dot dot dot. Oh, I followed by some statement of lack. Every single time you reinforce that to yourself, that is what you're creating more of. If you were to just try to start affirming yourself in the opposite direction, I am abundant, I am prosperous. Look around your current life and look at all the ways that you are abundant and prosperous that may have nothing to do with money. Maybe you are abundant in connections with individuals who actually reciprocate the energy that you offer. Maybe you are abundant in opportunities, like somebody's always calling to put you on to something that, is not known to many, so that you have an opportunity to go for it, right? Maybe you are abundant in the fact that you can pick and choose what you want to eat on any given day. That's abundance. That's prosperity. But if your only focus is the money in your bank account or the lack thereof, then, you're going to create more of that for yourself. If you start focusing on all the ways that you are abundant and prosperous and continue to affirm that to yourself, I am abundant, I am prosperous, I always meet the right people at the right time, I always have everything that I need at any given time. Wealth chases me, opportunities seek me out. Grace and mercy are always on my heels. They're always with me. Then you will notice more of what you affirm. Let's move to business and finance. Let's segue into that. I hope that something is being said that is helpful for you. If we haven't got to your street yet, we almost there. Thank you. All right. We got focus on your priorities. Where you put your focus is where you receive your Oh, Lord. Thank you. Where you put your focus is where you receive your outcome. Your priorities are calling to you, which may produce a feeling of anxiety unless you give them the time and attention they and you deserve. Even a small amount of time devoted to your priorities will help you feel better and more confident. Let's go ahead, clarify here for the business. See, because I'm not going to repeat everything that I just said and the card came out and let you know. Okay? So, all right. Now let's see what's going on. Focus on your priorities. You can't do everything, but you can do something. Focus on what you can do. Focus on what you can do. And submit the rest to God. Submit the rest to the universe. Follow what you have already been guided to do, which means focus on what you can do. Focus on what is in your control. It is in your control to get up and seek out wisdom on a topic that interests you. Instead of scrolling mindlessly, how about doing some research on a topic that interests you? That's within your control. If you don't know something, we live in an age where you can research and find it out. There are free courses. What is that? I can't call that Coursera, something like that. But you're able to go on there and they have free courses on there. that you can use to better yourself. Okay? You got to be able and willing. You are able. You have to be willing to put in the attention and focus where it's going to serve your greatest purpose instead of wasting it on things that don't matter. You want to grow your business, but you don't want to do any work. You just want it to fall out of the sky. You just want it to fall out of the sky like voila magic. Thank you. Use your intellect. Okay, now you got the Tower energy in the reverse. You got Temperance here. 5 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles again. Listen, you're trying to get to this 10 of Pentacles energy, but you are too busy lamenting over missed opportunities. What you feel like was a missed opportunity when in reality it was protection. But you feel like it was a missed opportunity. You feel like it was a waste of your time. You got your heart all set on something and then it didn't work out the way that you thought. And you've been holding on to that for so long. You've been holding on to it for so long that you can't even see new opportunities that are being presented to you because you're too focused on what has already been. Too focused on what has already been. So what? It didn't work out the way that you thought that it was going to work out. What did you learn? Because even in a perceived failure, especially when it comes to business, you've learned at least what doesn't work for you. If you learned nothing else, you learned what doesn't work for you, and you have the opportunity to try it a different way, right? You avoided a catastrophe. Had it worked out in the way that you thought you wanted, on down the line, that would have blown up so bad, right? And deep down, it's like you know this. You know this. This is a time for you to temper your energy. Find your balance, right? Find your balance. Focus on releasing what doesn't serve you. Releasing the sadness, the disappointment. Keeping the lessons that you learned from the experience and moving on toward what your goals are. You're trying to get to this 10 of Pentacles. You're not going to get to a 10 of Pentacles stuck here worrying about things that inevitably, ultimately, rather, don't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it's done. You can't change the past. You can't predict the future. The only moment that you have is right now. So don't waste your right now worrying about the past or creating unnecessary anxiety for yourself trying to focus on the future. Okay? Focus on the right now. What are you trying to create right now? Be on the lookout for the messages and the guidance, the subtle nudges that come from source. Let go of what is done. Lamenting over it is not going to change it. Talking about it with this Gemini energy, talking about it over and over and over and over and over and over to anybody who will listen, you are willing to tell how this person screwed you over in business, how they ran off with all your money and all this kind of stuff. Let it go. Let that energy flush on out, because it's going to come up again where you have those feelings like, oh my gosh, this feels familiar. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I should do this. Don't miss your opportunities. Don't miss the very opportunities that you are asking for. Okay? All right. Well, my loves, we're going to finish up with love. Okay. First, actually, let's get the big deck first. I mean, this is a very thick deck. Let's see what wants to show up for love. Even if you aren't interested in a love connection with another person, there is always the most important love connection anyway, which is that one with yourself first. So if you're not looking for a man or a woman, that's fine. How does this apply? Thank you. To self-love. Okay. Self-adoration. Thank you. Self-appreciation. Self-worth. Self-esteem. Let's see. Love is a journey, not a destination. And then heal your inner child to open your heart fully. Heal your inner child to open your heart fully. And what came out here? Love and let yourself be loved. Right? You are not alone. Guardian angel. You got angels watching over you. Okay? Heal your inner child. It's time to do some shadow work there. Those places that you have blocked off, blocked out of your life. You know, try to block out of your memories because they were challenging experiences for you. It's time to face them because that unhealed energy is affecting everything else. That unhealed energy from childhood is affecting things now. Okay? Whether you are seeking a relationship with a romantic relationship, whether you are seeking connections business wise, whether you are seeking friendships, it affects everything. So it's time for you to work on healing that inner child. Thank you. Making peace with your experiences. All right. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Heart-to-heart conversations. It's time for some heart-to-heart conversations. Okay. So, love is not a journey. It's a destination. Right? Exercise patience. That was the very first thing that came out. Exercise patience. Rushing the process limits learning. What can you appreciate at each phase? Right? So what's coming up is so many women are, okay, let's phrase that a different way. There are many women who are only focused on being able to say they are a wife, right? And it will cause you to get involved with people for the wrong reasons. You get involved with them because you want to be married and they are talking this good game. They're talking this marriage talk, honey. You go off and you marry them so that you can flex on other women, so that you can say, I got the ring, so that you can say, that's why I got a man and you don't. Meanwhile, you're going through hell in that relationship. Hell in that relationship. Because it's a great lesson for you to learn in your having your intentions be pure, right? Getting with people for the right reasons, getting with people from a healed place, making peace with yourself. You can't even live with yourself, but you're trying to get somebody else to commit to being with you. You don't even want to be with you, right? It's time to have real conversations. Real conversations. Let's see what comes out here. Let me just slide that over a little bit. Getting with people and not really knowing what you've gotten yourself into. I mean, I guess you couldn't really ever truly know exactly how a person's going to be after you get married and commit to them, because people send their representatives all the time. But when you are connected with your inner guidance and in the phase of dating or whatever y'all got going on, your inner guidance sends you those nudges like, pay attention to this. Because this sort of behavior isn't just a one-off. Does this truly align with you? Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we got the Emperor card, number 4. Maybe you are, or you're dealing with an Aries energy. This is the leader, okay? This is the leader, the person who is going to say, this is what we should do. Like, they're not confused about what they want. They're not confused about their priorities. They're not confused about what matters to them, right? Their morals, their values, and they're not willing to compromise anything just to say they're in a relationship with somebody. Then you got the World card, which is the universe in this deck, number 21, which breaks down to a 3. This is somebody stepping into their power here. This feels like someone stepping into their power. They are stepping into their authority. They are having the difficult conversations because perhaps you've been in a relationship that has been misaligned for a very long time. Maybe you were trauma bond with this person because you hadn't done the inner work to heal your inner child. So y'all were just, linked up and trauma bonded together. But now you're like, listen, this is not for me anymore. I'm going to just be honest. It doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. It doesn't mean any of that. It means this doesn't feel aligned anymore. And I think we should really consider changing that, going a different way, And it's taken a while to get to this space. Perhaps for others, this is a new phase within your relationship. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to break up with your partner. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Doesn't automatically mean you're going to break up with your partner, but some are absolutely being faced with some choices with this 2 of Wands energy. Maybe there has been some deception here. 7 of Swords. Maybe there's been some deception. Maybe there's been some infidelity. Perhaps there's been, some mismanagement of y'all's finances. Perhaps there have, been just some levels of toxicity within the relationship that previously you just tried to work through and you tried to make the best of it. You know, maybe you didn't feel comfortable leaving. You didn't know how you would go about moving forward with your life. Like, you might have felt like, I can't leave this situation because I don't have enough to be able to survive on my own. This is where it's time for you to trust Source, because in this situation, nothing's coming from it. If that's the situation, nothing's coming from it. You can talk to your blue in the face. They can tell you, you know, what you want to hear. If you kick up enough dust and they get tired of arguing with you, they might tell you what you want to hear. They might start acting right for a couple of weeks or so, and then eventually they're going to go back to that behavior that doesn't align with you, right? So for some, it absolutely is time for you to make a choice. Movement, choices, and decisions. Which will you do? Will you stand in your power and trust the universe and move forward? Or are you going to keep yourself in that connection? It's time to get real and have heart-to-heart conversations, even if that conversation is with yourself. All right, my loves, we're going to end here with an affirmation for you to take with you through the week. Of course, like I said, whenever you come across this video, I trust that the universe has aligned you here because there was a message here for you to consider. Take this affirmation with you until we meet again. Let's see. I'm surrounded by love and positivity. And we'll get one more here. I was about to drop all those. There it is. Got two. I give myself permission to rest and recharge. Somebody has already made some drastic changes and released a lot of things, and now you need to replenish yourself. Allow yourself to replenish. And then I deserve to prioritize my well-being. See? Those two go together. Give yourself permission to rest and recharge. You deserve to make yourself a priority. Even if you are in a happy, harmonious connection, even if you have children, even if you love your job, you need to find time for yourself. Pour into yourself. Okay? All right, my loves. Until next time, y'all take care. Y'all be well. Check out Eagles View Podcast. I think I'll call it Eagles View Radio Special, because there's so many podcasts now, y'all. Like, oh my goodness. But that is where we break down everyday life experiences from a higher perspective and take from those experiences what we can learn and that will make us better along our journey. So check those out. Those are posted on Tuesdays and Fridays. And until next time, I will see y'all soon. Y'all take care.